Oh, welcome back to the exciting end of this build type of video, really, for the full build series, I guess, where we're at. We are there. A few little things to do this video, and this thing is wrapped up. And then the only thing really to do once I can find a location is to drive it, see how it does, and go from there. But for the most part, we rock this out. Tell you what. What we need to do here, we have the bottom big heavy aluminum belly tank, or the belly pan that we need to put on the bottom. That goes on. We need to put the top and rear tanks on. I can adjust the springs for the latches, put the hinges in on the tanks too. I get that in, and then I got two little decals on each side, really small. That'll set that part off. And then that's really it for that. Before I get the tanks on, I do want to run it. Just make sure there's no leaks, anything like that, and that we're good. I did start it up yesterday and got it started up, got it running off, got it primed with the button, with the fuel pump, everything else. But when it's running, it's wide open. So I either have an exhaust leak, or not exhaust leak, a vacuum leak, or I think it's my idle screws. They don't turn all the way in for me to back them out. I mean, I can still see threads and the springs are barely compressed. That's what was in it. So, and then when you back them off, I think this is a Holley 94. You back it off 1.5 turns, and that should get you pretty close to where you need to be. Once I get it out 1.5 turns, I mean, I can move it side to side, so it's not seating really good. So I think the lack of that and that movement is maybe a vacuum leak to make it rev pretty high. So I had 2 rebuild kits. I looked at the other rebuild kit, and the 2 screws in that are just a little bit shorter, and the threads go a little bit farther. So I'm going to show you the video of it starting up yesterday and it running and really loud. I mean, it sounds really cool, but it doesn't have that forward blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm talking about. It's just like that, seriously. So I'll show you that video real quick. Started a few different times, let it run, but it was just wide open. I couldn't figure it out then, so I shut it down and tried to play around last night. And then I think I'm going to fix this part, but I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a second after you watch this startup and wide open beast come to life. So, all right, enjoy this. Back a minute, and I'll show you this, and we'll move on and wrap this bad boy up. Just because it's not getting fuel yet. Why? It's running really loud. I gotta adjust that down or something.
It sounds like it's gonna blow up.
It's off. It's just loud. Well, plus it's in here. You gotta remember, there's no muffler on this.
Oh.
It's just straight headers and it dumps right here.
Are you gonna put a muffler on it?
No. Make sure I'm not leaking anywhere. I know, it's a little strong right now.
I don't need the brain cells anyways.
So this is kind of what I'm talking about. So if you look here, I have this turned all the way in. You can look, still look, we still have a lot of threads. It should be in a lot farther than that, but regardless, that's all the way in. So I'm going to turn it out 1.5 turns. That's where it should be at for a good starting point, or pretty much where we need it. So we got this lined right up. So I'm going to go, that's half, that's full. We're going to go one more half. So that's at the bottom. Now, that's out 1.5 inches where it should be. You ready? See this? You know there's air leaking out through this, and it's not doing what it needs to do. So this side's the same. Got that turned in. We go 1.5. Still see the wiggle. So let me take this out, and I'm going to show you what I got here. I got this one right here that's out of the other rebuild kit. Take this spring off. Here's the difference. This is what I currently have in there, and this is what was in the rebuild kit. You get threads are different. You can see this one's longer, at least by 1/16, which makes a lot of difference. So I'm going to put the new springs and these in both, adjust them out, and see if we have what we need. There, we got our 2 new adjuster screws, idle screws. I'm going to take it all the way in until I feel it bottom out. Right there. And take this one. I can already tell you right now, threading him in and out, this is way tighter than what the other one was. Okay, that's in. So we're pretty much flat. Let's go out 1.5. Nope, I lost it. I didn't think about it. Okay, so there was that. So we go 1.5. Yep, much better. 1.5. Here we go. Perfect there. Now, the vacuum leak could cause that. This is a port here that looks like somebody's crimped it and blocked it off. So I might replace this with this like a plug, but that's cinched up pretty good, and I got this on it. Or maybe I'll wrap that some more. The other one only runs out through here, runs down to the distributor. I didn't see a crack or anything on this anywhere of where I would need to replace it, and that should be it. So maybe I'll just see if I can seize this one up a little bit more, but it looks like somebody crimped this old line out of it pretty good. But we'll see that, and then I guess we'll see if she'll start and not be wide open. Come on. All right. She's still loud. Try just a half turn. Let's do 1 turn. Or 3/4. Let's like 3/4. Oh, I gotta fix my oil pressure gauge. Oh, yo. Well, it's time to get the old wheel covers on. I'm going to take just a little bit of silicone and put in each little hole. That way it'll bite with the... Come on, get in there. There we go. And over here. That way it'll bite with the screw. Won't have any back outs or anything like that. I don't want to use thread locker or anything like that on it. Okay, screwdriver. So when I installed all these before, I made a mark V for valve stem. So let's go up here. See if we can get one started. Hey, got one started. Sweet. And this one should be over there. These things are so small. 2. Come on. Let's go for 3. Hot diggity. Get it barely tight. Barely tight. Let's turn. I want all my, if I can, I would like all of my, the heads on these to be, I don't know if that'll go. One more. No, let's back it off one right there. I want them all to be the same direction so it looks better. It's kind of uniform. Man, that looks pretty cool. All right. Looks pretty slick. So it barely sticks out a little bit. That helps, especially on the big front spindles with that ball. So I'm going to knock out the other 3, and that's one less thing done. I have reached out to one of the flathead groups, see if there's anybody around here that could probably help me with this, try to figure out how to get it to idle lower. I'm just not sure why. It should be simple, unless I'm just not thinking of something, but this is my first flathead. I don't know. So hopefully I get some help on that. Other than that, I mean, it's pumping fuel and doing good. I just can't get it to idle. After I get these on, the only other thing really is, well, to put the top tanks on. I went ahead and got both of the hinges on the 2 tanks, and so that's ready to go. So yeah, once I get this idled right, we'll throw that on and we'll be good to go. So knock these out, right back. I think our issue resolved from when we're starting it up, and it seems like it's wide open. I always, when I put this on, this bottom lever with nothing attached to it would just snap back, and it was about right in here. See, the gap was here. And I couldn't get anything to work. I put this spring on, hoping it would bring it back some more. Didn't do anything. So I reached out to the Facebook group, the Flat Spot, a Ford Flathead support group. Gave them some pictures, a bunch of other stuff. They gave me some stuff to look at and run down. But this needs to be touching because that's, I guess, the idle set screw or something. And I guess I was mixing that up with the idle mixture screw. I don't know. But it was like this. So I took the throttle cable off, and with this spring, this snapped back real hard into the spot. So I ended up lengthening this cable here and up at the pedal, so this would come back each time. So now we actually have a full throw. If I push the gas pedal, you can see how much we have all the way up. I was getting probably a third of that before. So I think that's going to be our issue of not being like this, which is, you know, pretty wide open for it to start everything else. So now it goes all the way back to there. I'm going to adjust these back to 1.5. We'll pull it outside and start it up. But before that, I have some of this edge trim. It's the clear stuff. I'll show you what we got here. This right here. So we're going to end up using that around the edges of our tank. We'll end up running this around this cut edge all the way along the edge through here, all the way around. That's going to clean that up and then stop from anybody from, you know, nicking themselves or whatever. So we're going to get this knocked out real quick. I think that, yeah, this is 18 feet. Should have enough. I got 2 packs to go all the way around it. We'll get that put on. I had to buy another oil pressure gauge because I tried to take the other one apart so I didn't have to fish it through the dash. Kind of broke it. So I bought another one that came. I'm going to throw that in real quick. That way the oil pressure line doesn't have an opening if we start this up and it pumps oil out. So that's done. Knock that out. And then we're going to push it outside and start it up with the throttle cable that's now fixed. So hopefully we get that idle, that iconic flathead sound, which would be awesome. Get it to idle. That should be good. I'll probably jack up the rear and get in and put it through the three gears in the transmission. Make sure it goes through all those right. And then we'll push it back in here, get the rear tank on, a few little bits on that, get that secured, get the top tank on, or the front tank, and then a few little things, and call her done, right? So, whew, man, it's come together. All right, let me knock this out real quick, and we'll get this bad boy idling. Fingers crossed. Much quieter. Well, this is where we're at. It did start, and you can tell it was idling a lot lower. I think it needed to warm up before I started messing with it, trying to get more gas and stuff. I mean, my old Chevy was the same way. I just excited, I guess. But once it wasn't starting, something wasn't right. So I came back here. This is wet with a little bit of fuel through here. So then I smelled the oil, and I can smell gas and oil too. So the fuel pump failed, even though we rebuilt it. I don't know if you watched that video. The kit was kind of wrong, so I had to twist it, try to make it work, and everything else. But we're also leaking right back down here where this housing sits. So the fuel's running through there, and it's leaking out right there. Even that's a new gasket, so that's weird. So I just drained the oil. I'm letting that drain out. I'm just going to order a new fuel pump instead of trying to rebuild this one again. There might be a crack somewhere. I didn't see anything, but it is what it is. The new one I'm going to get, it's going to have the glass bowl here. That way I can actually see that the fuel pressure is going through it and not guessing. So we'll do that. We'll replace that. I'll get a new gasket for this. I'll get that installed, and then we'll get some new oil in it, and we should be good to go. But it did idle, and it sounded 100% better. It wasn't idling long enough for me to adjust it to get it tweaked. But I think it's just the fuel pump that's just not wanting to play. So it is what it is. I kind of had a feeling when I rebuilt it that when that kit was wrong, I should have just went ahead and fixed it then. But you know, you get excited and want to keep going. So it is what it is. It's an easy fix. Unbolt and bolt the new one back up, and then we'll try it again. I mean, the only thing really after we get to idle and do what it needs to do is throw the two tanks on. So not a big deal. So I'm going to get this stuff ordered today. Got holidays and stuff coming up, so I don't know if it's going to be in the next couple of days. But yeah. Okay, well, I'll see you here in about 5 seconds with the new parts and get this bad boy buttoned up, and we'll try again, hopefully. Yeah, we will. So, all right, see you in about 2 seconds now. Now, if you see that, can you see what's wrong? This is the stopper. I guess this is the second one I've got because the first one, I thought I broke it. After we got started up this time and it rained a little bit, I mean, it pegged out. So I'm assuming I have more than 100 PSI of pressure. So I went on and bought a 0 to 200. I think they had like to a 120 and a 150. So I was like, I might as well just get a 200 and see what that is. So I ordered that. We'll replace that again. So that's good. I mean, we got a lot of oil pressure. That's a plus. Anyway, all right, I can get everything ordered and get all this stuff swapped out, get this bad boy idling, get the tanks on, and we're golden. So I know we're getting into winter now. I think this is the last sunny, warmer day. After tomorrow, we're dropping down and it's 30s, 40s, and at least that's for the next 2 weeks. So I know these things are cold. Once I choked it and I got it running, I just, wanted a little bit more gas to get it going. And like I said, with my Chevy, once I got it going, I could let it sit there for 5 minutes and warm up and golden. But you try to hit the gas, do anything right when it's still trying to warm up and dies out. So not worried about that. It did idle. It sounded amazingly well. Wasn't screaming at me. So we get all this wrapped up and get this bad boy finished. And yeah, so all right, see you in about 2 seconds. We got our new fuel pump in. I opted for the one with the glass bowl. So we got new gaskets on them. I got that primed and got our other fuel line onto here. So we are set. I think it looks pretty good. We got our cable, our throttle, and our choke cable installed back in with our bracket. Looks pretty cool. We're gonna go ahead and pull this outside, get it fired up, let it idle, and then kind of go on from there. Oh, what now? Did you turn the gas off? No, leave that alone. My gas pedal stripped. They pushed it all the way back. That's freaking. Can I show you what I'm talking about? When it was on the car, it's set up. You can see the two lines. It was like this. So I push it, but then this was locked, and then this would slide through with the set screw. So you can kind of see where the set screw is supposed to be back here, and it just slid and took off all the knurling. So I'm going to drill a hole through here for the set screw to go down into and see if that's going to help keeping this to go from sliding. So we'll see what it does. Okay, well, this is where we're at. The Speedway brake pedal, it's set in with the set screw so you can adjust it where you need it. That stripped, it took off all the knurling. So I drilled that out and put a longer threaded machine screw into that. Went ahead and took out the other side, did the same type of thing, put that back in, so that's on. I got a stronger spring on this now, so I hit the pedal, it takes it all the way back. We were at about a 1/16 of an inch, that's why I was idling heavier. When I showed the pressure gauge, that's when that was idling just barely open, and that was about 80 PSI. Once I got the spring back on and it closed, I was running about 40, so that's good. The new fuel pump, the mechanical one, it works good. I got the glass bowl so that I can fill it up, see where I'm at, so that's a plus. Mechanical pump looks good. It works, no leaks there. Did see a lot of smoke, but that's coming off the exhaust strap. Not worried about that. Clutch is being finicky. I did get it into gear, but it's just, I don't know if I can find the sweet spot or if it just needs to get lubed up and be able to work properly. So I got to play around with that still. But I could start it. I could get it in gear and then start it and then take off from there, and I should be good. The other thing, what was the other thing? Oh, the big one. Oh, went to try to start it again. Starter's not engaging flywheel. I turned the crank by hand probably 6 or 7 times so I could try to rotate it, see if it's maybe missing some teeth. It's not kicking it, so, or it's not engaging it. So I'm not sure if the flywheel's stripped, but it didn't make any noises like that, and I don't think that would do that. Or the starter is stuck out and it's not coming back maybe. I tried to hit it a few times. I had somebody pushing the button while I was tapping on the starter, tried to get it disengaged. Wouldn't do it. I did that probably a few different times by rotating the crank. So now I can't even get it to turn over. So I think the only option really is to, well, a few things. I can jack it up, and I got to take the whole bottom belly pan off, which is just some bolts. There's nothing attached to the belly. The only bad part about that is I have to take the front steering links out. Not that big of a deal. I think that's pretty much it that I have to take off is my main steering link. Yeah, and then my little braces that go around to fill the little fillers. So there's that. I could do that and be able to, well, I wouldn't be able to take the torque tube off, pull the transmission out. I'd probably have to, well, if that's jacked up, the bottom pan's off, I'd probably have to take off the rear axle to slide it out of the way so I can pull both the transmission from the housing there, since it's one solid piece, pull that off and see. I hope that's not it. I don't know. I'm going to do some more research on that and talk to a few people. So we're not done. I thought this was going to be it and I could wrap it up, but it seems like each time something creeps in. But it's winter now. It's cold. I can't really take that out and do what I want to do with it. So speaking of that, I've had a lot of different questions throughout the build about stuff, so I might as well get into some of that stuff now. What my intentions are, everything with it. Yes, eventually I'd like to get out west and go to the salt flats. It's not going to set any speed records, but it'd still be cool to be out there and run it that way. So, but locally, I have talked to an airport, a much smaller airport than a bigger one, to go out, and I have permission from them to come out and do some pictures on the runway with some planes around, and then actually drive it and get some video, drone footage, stuff like that at the airport. Just work around their schedule. So that's going to be cool. I'll have to wait for some warmer days for that. But like I said, right now, as of this filming, it's December, and it's most of the days are in the teens up to 30s, maybe 40s or so. So probably wait on that, which is good because there's a few things that I've also been asked of, I guess from other people that are also building belly tanks about, if I did it again, how would I do it different? Things I would change, anything like that. Getting into that, I think, if I had everything off the bat, the engine, transmission, all that to kind of work together and get my spacing and things, I probably would have stretched the front axles or stretched the frame probably another 8-9 inches, which I have room. That would have helped a lot. But all in all, I probably wouldn't change anything on this that I've done except the steering. I don't like the steering box. I'm going to change that. So that's going to happen over the winter too. Right now, it pretty much, when you're sitting in it, you're pretty much going 2.5 turns to get to full lock. I don't want that as a tight maneuvering space. Plus, I also have the cable for the horn and all that, which is not a big deal. The electric fuel pump is on the spiral cord, so that's fine. But I don't like having to sit in there and try to turn it. I want it to be like an F1 car / go-kart where full lock, you know what I mean? So I'm going to take the steering box out. I got some pillow blocks and some couplers with some stoppers and things like that. I'm going to extend my steering rod into the pillow block with the bearing, and I'm just going to run a straight, probably 3/8 steel plate, some flat bar, 3/8, and I'll probably put some reinforcements on it, straight down to the pitman arm, or down forward my pitman arm to my steering link, and then I'll have full lock that way, and that way it'd be super tight. And probably should have done that from the beginning. So honestly, that's probably the only thing I really want to change. So I'm going to work on that here over the winter. I do need to work on the clutch. I don't know if it's just not engaging properly. I did get it in, like I said, but it shouldn't be that difficult. So I don't know if I need to, I don't know yet. I'm going to work on that. So not a big deal. It's not like I have a deadline to get it out to the salt flats for a race or anything. So this is pretty much my enjoyment. Back onto that. Salt flats maybe one day. I am going to do the airport around here to get some good video driving and open it up on the runway, which would be pretty cool. Take it to some local shows and stuff around here. You don't see belly tanks in the Midwest too much, or at least in Kentucky where I'm at. I've never seen one in person. So I think that'd be kind of cool for people to see. It's a good talking point. So what else? I don't know. Oh, maybe another thing I might change if I would have done it. I probably, instead of doing the radiator, I probably would have just built a big aluminum box, and then had it maybe had to have some electric pumps that would route it through the frame rails, kind of like on a tube buggy or something like that for off-road. You can route your coolant lines through that, and just some pumps, because it's not like you're on the street and it's pretty much start it, go, and you're gonna be done. So I probably would have changed that. I could have maybe got a little bit more room, did a flat panel across the bottom or something, but I don't care. I think it's pretty awesome. So I'm 99.8624% satisfied completely with this. So I think once I finish the steering, figure out what's going on with the flywheel or the starter for it to engage, then I'll be golden. But we did get it to start. It's idling great now. I did change the spring. I think I told you that. So it kicks all the way back now. That made a huge difference. It idles, sounds amazing. So I guess where the stage where we're at now is, this video has pretty much been over 3 weeks. By the time, issues, having to order new parts, waiting for those to come in, those getting delayed, and finally showing up, everything else. So this has been dragged on for a little bit. That's why there was a little delay between the last video and this one. I could have pushed out a video that, the first half of what you've just watched, but really wasn't that great. And I didn't think it justified a full video. I at least want to give you some good stuff to actually watch and see and stuff like that. So I'm going to jump in to the steering. I've already kind of played around with it, got the old box removed, and try to get that figured out. So that part's done. Once that's done, I can put the top tank on for the front, button all that up, get my hinges and everything like that adjusted so it locks into place. And then this half is done. The back, I'm pretty sure that's just the starter. There's no way it stripped all the flywheel, the gears on the flywheel. That's just not happening. And I would have heard something going on about like that. Anyway, I think it triggered, it shot, and it probably maybe got tweaked or got pinched, and it can't disengage that. Or I think it's with the Bendix starters, it's got 2 bolts at the end, maybe one of them sheared off. I don't know. So I'm going to try to unbolt that, slide it back, and I'll probably have to try to repair it where it's at, because that starter is not coming out unless that bottom tank is out. And one of the big issues with that, if you saw when I put it together, are the headers. I could probably drop the tank, unbolt the headers, drop everything on this side. I think this side over here with the starter, I don't think there's enough room for me to do that. I might be able to drop it all at once. I'm gonna have to play around with that and see, and just hope that I can get that fixed or something like that. So I'll get the front knocked out, at least get that part really good in the video, get that top tank on, and we'll kind of go from there. So this will be a little bit longer. We're kind of on par with some of the other ones, but probably not as exciting as everything. But there was quite a bit of footage of this thing running and idling. I'm not sure where I can put the microphone for this. I've tried it up into the corner when it's outside, so you can kind of get a good sound of it. I've tried it behind it, but you can kind of hear it when every once in a while you'll get it down and you can hear the idle of it pretty good, where it's that little popping. So some of that sounded muffled, so sorry about that. It is what it is, I guess, at this point. So, all right, I'm going to keep going and work on the steering. We got our steering wheel brace kind of where we want it. Got it into the center. We got our new link, our new rod right through here, bolted up. I got these 2 locks with couplers, and they got some of the set screws, so that stays there. I have this pillow block. I got this bracket here that you can kind of see goes down to the other side there. It kind of twists right here. I'm going to end up welding this to our removable bracket here. You can kind of see our bracket back here on this side. I'll probably weld an angle brace from here up to here, just kind of stiffen that up a little bit, and then we'll notch our flat bar from here to go down to our heim joint down there. So I think that's going to look kind of cool. Kind of cleans it up, and it's going to make it where we can turn, and 3/4 half turn lock is going to be lock to lock. So that's going to help drastically, I think. I'm working on the steering, and this is the section that goes into where the pitman arm would go. So we have the heim. You can see it's got a little bit of play, which helps, but we need some more for when it goes across. So I found some of these misalignment bushing spacers, whatever you want to call it. So these are going to go, you can put them on, well, this is how I had it to test it. Had it like this, just to function to see if it would work and give me more play, which you can kind of see now. If it flexes, it goes out a lot farther. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in the lathe, turn this down so it actually slide inside of our heim here. Should be pretty close. It might give me a little bit. That way it's tight onto there and it's a nice secure fit. All right, I just got these off the lathe. I just took down a little bit of the outside here. So now when we get it, they'll slide right into the actual heim joint, give it a little bit more bite. So we'll try this up and see how we go. So since I'm trying to finish up the steering, I went ahead and made some brackets and got them painted. They've been drying for a couple days. My main goal was that I wanted to be able to go back to my steering box if I needed to, without making it too permanent. So everything that I'm making right now for the kind of the go-kart type of steering link setup, I can bolt on and off. So I have this piece right here, the other cap is going to across our down tube, and then see if I can hold this up without it falling everywhere. So kind of have our drop pitman arm here. We have our pillow block with the bearing, our heim, and our couplers. So once this is bolted in, that'll be to the bracket. We can kind of turn it that way or whatever. So it'll come off pretty easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this bolted up, get everything tightened up, and then I'll kind of set the camera up in front and show you the turning. I've already tried it once before I kind of took everything apart for welding and painting. It's pretty much, this is full lock to lock. So there's not much movement to get it to go full lock, which is perfect. Again, the other way was almost 3 complete turns, which was very awkward. So I'll get this in and kind of show you what we got. And then we're ready to wrap this bad boy up. We'll get the top tanks on and our final stuff and everything adjusted and call this bad boy golden. Yep, hello. So let's rock this out. All right, well, I'm in here. I got everything in here and adjusted. I've got everything tight. So just kind of show you what it looks like from the front. So now if I want to go left, that's pretty much full lock. I'm not moving very much down here at all. Back to full right, and then back to center. So much easier. I'm only a fraction of the inch or fraction of what I was doing before. If I wanted to change that stroke, make it a little more turn, I can shorten that pitman arm a little bit. I have room for that. I forget what I am on that. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look and see. But yeah, we got good turning, and it's nice and smooth. So super pleased with that. Heck yeah. So I think now I'm going to get the front tank on, get the hinges secured on that. I need to get my adjusters back here for where it latches. Get those adjusted right back and forth to the slides. Front will be done, and then we can throw the back on. I think we'll be golden there. So let's rock this bad boy out. Well, I got the 2 tanks on, obviously. Bit of advice. Take some good pictures of how you put things together, so when you put them back together, they go back together properly. I had to look at one of my old videos. The rear hinge, I had it flipped, but didn't have it inverted too, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I looked back in an old video and I figured it out. So we're golden now. Finishing touches. We're getting our American flag on this side and the other side. This side we're going to cut because of our seam. So I think this will look kind of cool. I kind of wanted to hide this area a little bit too, so I think this would be a good option for that. So I think somewhere like in that maybe. See how we do this here. I guess I'll just do it this way, and then I can untape it. Before I crank that down. Oh, where'd my razor blade go? I just had it. Come on. For real? No, where's it at? What'd I do with the razor blade, man? Did you take it? Come on. Under the paper? Nope. Oh, I hear it. There it is. Oh, jeez, Pete. All right, let's now see if we can get this on here just right. And I got a rivet here. Let's see if we can get around that somehow. That might be a little trickier. All right, let's clean this up. Okay. I think I need to. I don't do this stuff, so I don't know. I've never wrapped a car. I don't do any of that stuff. So I think I'm just going to kind of try to go slowly around this rivet and hope that that works. FYI, I am not a big fan of washing cars, even though I do like the finished look. Actually, I don't mind washing them and all that kind of stuff. It's the polishing and detailing and all that kind of stuff. Just never been really into that kind of stuff. For you detailers out there, kudos. Because, man, I am not good at it. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Just kind of tuck in that cut piece with my finger. Okay, let's get all that. Let's get our towel here, or our wash. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Paper towel. I got this one where it kind of looks like it's tattered a little bit, so it looks like it's been on here for a while. I think that's fits the look. I didn't want a perfect looking flag on here. I think that would have looked a little silly. Get off there. Get off there. Okay, perfect. Heck yeah. That's it, man. All right, I'm going to do one on the other side real quick, and I'll be right back. Whew, I kind of almost at a loss for words, to tell you the truth. It's been just a little over a year, I think 13 months from time to get it to where we're at now. Little time off here and there for different things, but overall, let's just say a year build. Never done anything like this, especially from the ground up, especially taking something that's not already a car and modifying it to making it work. I've learned just a countless amount of right ways and wrong ways to do things. But again, it's just trial and error. I loved every minute of it. Man, it's just, like I am, so it's kind of lost for words. You do every little bit and piece every week, and you don't really get to see it all come together and while you're doing it. So stepping back now and getting to see it, it's awesome. I love it. Not 100% perfect. There's little things here and there, but you know what it is. It's got character. It's one of a kind. So, man, I'm loving it. I did want to do the big reveal like I talked about before. We're in winter now, but I do have something lined up when the weather's get a little better. Take it out, get some good video, some pictures at an airport, which would be kind of cool. Get some drone footage driving around. I think this could be kind of awesome. Get to open it up. I still have the starter issue. It's not engaging. Pretty sure it's just the Bendex. Either it's engaged out and not kicking back, or one of the bolts might have sheared off, something like that. So I still got to work on that. But I have the winter time to kind of dig into that and get that fixed. So not a big deal. People, if they just take a picture or stop and come say hi, it'd be a whole lot easier than just staring at me. But anyway, whatever. Whew. Man. That's just crazy. If you watch the very first video, I think we've come a long way from the first handful of videos. Just even not the complete rig, but just the video taping and recording and everything else. I had no clue what I was doing starting off. I had the camera facing up because I thought that's how you did it. And then music, all that kind of stuff. Finally, I think I'm a little better than I was. If you look back at this video, which I don't know if this is 38, 39, 40, I don't know. But versus number 1, 2, and 3, at least for sure. I think it started getting a little better at 7, 8, 9. I don't know. But we're night and day from where we're at, and I'm still learning about this and stuff. I don't have a lot of high-grade equipment, anything like that. I use my iPhone. I think it's a 12 Pro, maybe. I don't even know what we're at now. It's probably a 12 Pro. It does great. I'm not really investing in bigger equipment and stuff until I get some more subscribers to make it at least a little bit more worthwhile. But we're slowly growing. If you've been here since the first episode, thanks for sticking with me and giving me a little leeway. Again, just kind of learning this whole YouTube thing or whatever. But if you have been here, I appreciate you coming back and keep watching them over and over. For all you that send comments, give me suggestions. 95% of them have been great. I really haven't had any negative stuff so far. That's too crazy. A little bit of, a little ornery kind of stuff, but nothing crazy. But for the most part, like I said, the majority have been positive encouragements, continuing to watch and even some good suggestions on things that I've never heard of before, parts, materials, things like that. But I appreciate that greatly. So what's next, huh? I don't know. I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. We got a few things on this. Want to tweak, nothing big like the starter and things, but I think for this, this is it. Besides our cool video out at the airport when it warms up, and we can kind of work out some time with them. So that's the plan for that. Stick around. We'll find something to do. It'd be kind of fun. If you got any suggestions on anything cool or something you'd like to see done, let me know. I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all soon. Appreciate it. See ya.